Stand by. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Impact.
Well, not necessarily live, but video rolling.
Alright, let's get it rolling.
All right.
Still gotta get Sling right, but whatever. This still works.
3, 2, 1. All right, guys. LocsNLoad Firearm Reviews here today. I'm with Eric Undead Prophet, and today we're going to be talking about our 13-9s, our GPR rifles.
Alright.
So we're going to be going over our build list of why did we add what we add to our guns. And so these guns are basically the answer to, if you grab one gun, what would it be? And so it would be the GPR, the general purpose rifle. So anything about 12.5 to about 14.5 inch barrel length, in typically the 5.56 caliber platform. And we're talking about ARs. As far as the GPR for AKs, you're gonna have to go to somebody else.
Yeah, like we haven't went down the AK road yet, but
I'm not looking to. But
I mean, unless somebody like gives me one for free or something.
there you go. You know, then I'll go down the road.
Like, let's me try one out, like a good one. Like,
it's still not gonna replace the AR.
Yeah, it's not gonna replace these bad boys. You start first, because you have yours more set up than mine. I'm still messing around with mine.
Yeah, but again, we're still building a chemistry with this, but I'm liking where it's going. This is a nice package. It's like, this is a nice setup. I can't lie. It really does kind of everything I needed to and stuff.
Look. So, I'll start with mine. So, go from tip to button, right?
Well, it's gonna be like a slow thing. So we're gonna talk about first the tip.
Yeah.
The suppressor.
The cans.
Right, so what do we got up here? So we both got the same thing.
Yep.
YHM
Turbo T2s.
T2s, right? It's a good balance of price, performance, and reliability.
It's a dope can. Anybody that has one knows how dope it is. Anyone that doesn't know about it, it's like, again,
you should know about it.
For how much it is, and for the amount of testing you, me, and Keith have done, like,
yeah, the whole squad has.
We put it up against the RC2.
Doesn't Justin have one of these now?
Yeah.
Yep. So like, again, these YHMs, these T2s specifically, really do fit the bill for, like, if you're looking for
a very good quality can, and you don't want to spend
like
RC2
surefire
money,
like $1,000 plus on a can
for how much this can is, and shameless plug, we're SOTs now.
Oh yeah, we are SLTs now.
So if you want to buy a can, we highly recommend you buy T2 from us.
You're right here at K&A Accessories. Link will be in the description box.
If you don't want to spend RC2 money and you want a quality can that's going to last you, especially if you, say for instance, go to like a 1,000 round, rifle course, something like Urban Gunfighter, and you want something really quality, that would be my first choice.
Exactly. So if you're looking for like your first can, this is what I would recommend right here. YHM T2.
Yep.
Again, under $500.
And then your tax stamp brings it up to $7.
Well, I mean, the thing is like under 500.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like 4 something, and so plus that, so you're looking around 6. Yeah, it goes 600-700, because the government's always got to put their foot in our business. So, anyway, moving on. So to have a can, you're gonna have to mount it to a YHM muzzle device.
Yep.
And so we both went with flash hiders. Mine's a little shortened because it, I don't know, it fell in Keith's hands. I'll just say that.
Yeah. So what happened with this, right? This was before we contacted YHM about these muzzle devices. So we thought that because we put the Curse kits on here, the longer flash hiders would be able to fit inside of it because we shortened up the length of the can. But YHM did an update with these cans, so they said no, it'll work just fine. But by the time we had contacted them, we had already did that. So yeah, it doesn't affect anything because how these cans mount to the YHM muzzle devices, the tapers are all the way back here. So basically, the only thing he did was just chop them here, and then.
What I can use it as, if I run out of ammo, I can take the can off, and then I can just start poking people with this.
Yeah, he has a he basically has a poking flashlight.
It's a muzzle device and a bayonet.
It's a muzzle device and a bayonet, yeah, basically.
All right, so let me put it back on because I'm not gonna lie, it does look ugly. It's like, there we go.
You should shoot it at nighttime. I want to see if it is like a low key muzzle brake. I doubt it though.
I mean, the can stays on, like the can never comes off.
The can stay on, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So, one thing I do want to dive into while we're here talking about the front of the rifles, I have iron sights. You don't. So, how do you feel about iron sights being on rifles nowadays? I know some people are big proponents, like me. I'm just ex-military, and so just the safety of the iron sights I like. But then I think about my optics, not a QD. So if the optic somehow just went to hell.
Well, again, Thomas, like I said, right? This rifle isn't finished.
Yeah, it's true. These rifles aren't finished.
To answer his question, yes, I do believe in backup iron sights. But what you need to take in consideration is, which is why I do like that you have the fixed front sight that peeks over your pec. You also need to take in consideration if this optic system, regardless of what you have, right? Regardless if it's LPVO or like how I had on here before when I was testing it, EL Tech with a magnifier, you need a way to be able to get this optic off in a pinch, like in the middle of a gunfight kind of pinch. So like a throw lever.
And that's the thing, this primary arms mount is not QD.
If it has a QD throw lever, yes. So, and even with this LPVO, right, I have the little twist knob.
So, doesn't. I would have to have a tool on me to.
Exactly, and it's like, are you really gonna sit there and fumble trying to find a tool?
Right.
And it's just something to kind of think about because I'm always one of those people that's always thinking. But that's why it took me so long to kind of get mine together because I was like kind of seeing how you were setting yours up. But once when you get the throw levers, or if they make a throw lever for this, that would be great because yes, you do have your backup irons, but.
Exactly.
You can't see your rear.
So I guess
I can't even get it back. No, great. Oh, there we go.
All right, so I guess that brings up, would 45-degree iron sights make more sense in this case?
No, I don't like that either.
Yeah, I kind of feel that.
Because that defeats the purpose of why you went streamline like that.
Well, I went streamline with this for night vision shooting.
The only other thing I can think of that you can do.
But we're getting off topic.
Yeah, see, now we're gonna have to cut that whole part. Whatever.
All right. So anyway, that's iron sights.
Yeah, iron sights.
All right. It's up to you whether you want to or not. If you do, try to make sure your optic is QD so you can get to them.
Because otherwise, there's no point to have them on there.
All right. Now next, lights. What do we put on our 13.9s?
All right, so I'm running the Mod Light OKW with a Unity hot button. So this is actually a recommendation. Shout out to you, Jason. When I went to phase 2, I kind of messed around with this and I was like, yeah, I like this. One big reason why I like this tape switch over a lot of others is because it has ridges right here. And so when I'm grabbing my rifle, all right, and I got the emissary gear, hand stop, whatever. Basically, I can use my thumb and pull the rifle even more into my shoulder. So that's one of the reasons why it kind of came from my 12.5 over to here. So what about you? Where did you put?
So I'm using
plain Jane.
Right, I'm using the Mod Light
plain
PLH.
Jane, no buff down.
Again, I'm a big fan of these Mod Lights. I like their output, especially down at distance, and also the profile. It's not like this big, huge light. But for me, I'm not a huge fan of the tape switch for the lights. I'm liking the push buttons, and so that's what I'm rocking with. No tape switch on the light, just thingy cap.
See, I got the best of both with that. That's why I like it.
Alright, and so I do want to get a different mount because when I do try to go offhand and use it, it is kind of funky. I have to grab the bipod and then use it.
Well, you shouldn't have the bipod limit on the gun.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I want to get a different mount, almost like yours that pushes.
So you're gonna have the bipod living on the gun.
Almost, like.
What do you mean almost?
Pretty much. I mean, there's no real reason I always take it off, take it on. It just sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't know. If that makes sense.
You're just indecisive.
Yeah, I'll put it like that. I'm just indecisive.
That's why.
But I do want to get a different air socket mount that pushes it higher. Like
is it
how
on the
yours
highest
is.
part though? No, see, that's why. You got to move it up.
But even if I did do that, it still would not be as high up as here.
That's true.
And so if I can get this, I can go
So
offhand. I can go offhand with that. Yeah, that's what I mean offhand. I'm talking about like this, and then still hit it. Fine. All right. So now moving on with our build list. You see we both have PEX on here, IR lasers. Now, this is not a necessity. You don't have to have it. I know it's not very cheap to get one of these, unless you go with like the Somo gear, which is like an airsoft version of this, but is highly rated and actually is pretty durable.
It's all right.
So, but besides that, you don't have to have these, but
yeah, we run night division,
yeah,
so that's why we have them.
We like the finer things, so. All right, moving on to the rail. I believe we're both using Midwest Industries.
Yeah, so I have the Midwest Industries combat rail, and I'm not gonna lie. For the price of what they are and for how easy they lock up onto your upper receiver, honestly, it's kind of become my gold standard rail now. Like,
I like it.
I've not gonna lie. Over the years, I've kind of gotten tired of like looking for different rails and rail lengths and stuff, and the rigidity of the rails, because now I'm running a PEC 15, and it's like
you want it to be IR.
The Geisy rails are dope, but that's a $300-something rail.
Yeah.
And then the Daniel Defense rails are really dope, but the only one that I really like are like the Picatinny ones. But
I like the wrist 2 type.
So it's like
those costs are pretty as well.
For if you want honestly a really good rail and not have to spend like $200+, like these Midwest rails are dope, and they hold zero. Like I like how they lock up, and they have the anti-rotation tabs too.
All right, so I also have a Midwest Industries rail as well. This is about like a 12.5-inch rail, and I like this rail. Everything about this rail except for these QD holes up front. And that's why I like his rail, because it doesn't have the QD rails up front. And so when I try to mount my light, I can't get as far forward as I want to or as it should, because this gets in the way.
Yeah.
And so, but it's like such a minor thing that is like, don't feel like buying an entire new rail just for that. But I do like these combat Midwest Industry rails. And so.
Yeah, also like these little tiny holes up here for cable management.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah, because I just put this on here, so I gotta tie everything down. But
right, with holes or without holes. But it still has the QD slots in the rail in the back though, so I like that as well. These just has one too many. You don't need them up here. All right, moving up. So our receivers, our upper and lower receivers. Anything special, fancy? Mine's is Poverty Pony. Anderson lower and Anderson upper.
Anderson lower.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Listen, almost all my guns have been Andersons, and so it's just like these horses gonna ride, dog.
These horses gonna
ride.
I mean, that's fine. You got the whole Poverty Pony army going over there, but
you got the whole stable.
But yeah, mine's an Air Precision upper and a Sons of Liberty lower. So I always wanted the Soul Snatcher lower, so I finally ended up getting it. And
so you also own Anderson lowers, right?
I have one Anderson lower.
Have you noticed a difference between basically the cheapest lower and one of the most, I won't say expensive, but one of the most, I guess, elite lowers?
Here's the one thing.
Like, what's the main difference?
I will honestly say this one thing. If Anderson did this one thing, which is put the grip tension screw, if they put that, they drill and tap that into their lower receiver, I would honestly say I would buy Andersons over Air Precisions. And I spent the money. The only reason why I bought the Sons of Liberty lower is because I wanted the Soul Snatcher, because I thought it looked cool, and because I know what I'm going to be doing with this lower later on in the future for the company, and all the stuff is already cut out for that.
Is it some FA stuff? Some FA stuff?
Yes. So, but at the same time, the other lower that I'm going to get is already going to have that in there. So it's like, all right, cool. So now I'll have two. But other than
besides
that,
you haven't noticed much of a difference between an
if
expensive lower and a cheap lower.
If Anderson did that one thing, just drill and tap the lower receiver to have the tension screw, I would buy 2 Andersons over a Aero Precision. And I like Aero Precisions as well. But until Anderson does that, I'll buy an Aero Precision right now.
Okay.
That's just me. Because otherwise, with an Anderson, I would have to put an AccuWedge in there.
Alright, I'm sure a lot of people don't know all this stuff.
Yeah.
But,
see, that's why later on,
right.
coming soon, but we're not going to talk about it, the other stuff that we're doing.
Alright. So again, let's move on. Before we get too far, we forgot the attachments on the rail. So we both have angled foregrips. No, actual vertical foregrips. We prefer. It seems like we both prefer hand stops and angled foregrips over a vertical foregrip.
Yeah, vertical foregrip. It's nice, but for positional shooting, I do like just only less is a little bit more. And the crazy thing is, this is actually going to get switched out because I like yours. And Emissary Gear just came out with a smaller one of that. So that's when I'm end up switching to, because I don't really need all of this sticking out like that.
Yeah, and for me, the biggest thing was trying to get low. Like, if you're trying to get prone to the ground, like, especially the biggest thing for me was shooting off a backpack or some type of bag. And that foregrip being in the way, where like I couldn't get enough of my muzzle on a bag to get a stable position. Or
putting this on a tripod.
That too. And so it just kind of got in the way. And then, like you said, like, you don't need all that down here. The entire foregrip you rarely ever use, especially if you're just using the traditional C clamp. This is all you really need.
Because even my end, you see how much of this is sticking out? I don't really need all that. I low-key want to just shoot.
Right, and so
laser.
Just this, what I have is a Magpul. I forgot whatever it's called, but you can find them at Academy, and it fits in the M-Lock rails.
Yeah.
So it's a Magpul little hand stop, and this is just like, again, enough. All I need, and when I go pro and get to the ground, shooting off a bag, it doesn't like get in the way. It kind of just sinks into the bag and doesn't affect my shooting. And so, yeah, you said you want to get the same thing. Now, bipods. Now, this bipod is continuously showing up in video after I say I'm gonna replace it, but definitely I'm gonna
do it already.
I'm gonna replace it. I'm gonna get a Harris for it. It's just, this thing just kind of, it's like one of those.
It just hasn't died.
Right? It hasn't died. It still does what I needed to.
It's not a justification for you to do it though.
All right. So again, you don't have to put a bipod on your guns. For some reason, I just like shooting out the distance or that type of shit, and so I always want a bipod, just in case I take a shot out.
The only thing I did was I just put the Picatinny out there, and I just keep the bipod in my backpack or something. So, but I mean, he just wants to have his limit on his gun, which is cool. I just don't like it because it just interferes with my grip. Don't worry, when you get a Harris, you'll see.
All right, moving on to the next real important thing on here, the optic. Now, for a GPR, if you watch our last video where we kind of went over what is a GPR and general purpose rifle, we had stated that you do want an optic that has some type of magnification. And so mine is a 5X prism optic from Primary Arms. So it has the ACSS reticle etched in here, so it's not like reliant on batteries, even though it can be illuminated. But it's an etched reticle, 5X, so 5 times magnification, and I have a Holosun 509T on top, red dot, for 50 yards and in type shooting. And I've taken this optic and this setup here and gotten repeated hits out to 600 on a man-sized target. So definitely you're gonna want magnification on something like this, because again, people say, oh, I can take my red dot out to 3,500. 9 times out of 10, they're on a flat range where those targets are brightly painted and easily seen. Try doing that in a wooded area where someone's wearing camouflage and hiding behind bushes. You're not gonna see those people. So you're gonna want magnification of some kind.
Yeah, because going on to why now I have LPVO on here, and I am actually waiting for this optic to come in. Shout out to you, Derek. With the Aurora reticle in it, because they had them on Primary Arms. So Once I get that, that's actually going on here because, like Thomas said, what I was running on here before was the EOTech with a magnifier. And yes, I could somewhat PID out to 300 because I was able to see that man-sized target that had the M81 on.
Oh yeah, the camouflage shirt.
But, and I could hit out to 2 and 300 with it, but as far as holdovers, it was extremely annoying trying to hit out there with the magnifier.
You're essentially just guessing.
It is with the EOTech reticle, yes. Now I feel maybe magnifier wise, if I go to the primary arms Pegasus that has the holdovers, maybe. But I don't know. And it's like I would rather just go to this because it makes more sense because of the fact that, and even an LPVO, if you're going to keep it on a fixed magnification. So another thing that I'm going to try, which is later once when I have this, is an LPVO with a dot forward and keeping the LPVO on 6 power.
All right, and so that's why I got with the Prism and not like an LPVO because
it's smaller because it's already a fixed power at 5. You have a larger objective window in comparison to this because it's a 28 millimeter, so you get better clarity, better definition out at distance via the camouflage target. Because I started shooting out to 400 and 600 with this, so he's right. Out to 600, you can PID stuff. Yeah. It's a little That's why I want the optic, Derek. That's why I want the optic.
Well, yeah, like I said,
and then having some kind of it's the ACOG at home, and then having some kind of an aiming system on top, like an enclosed emitter up here, it just makes sense. How did you mount your? Did you just directly mount yours there?
Yeah, so
it
already comes with a mount from the factory, but this mount was made by someone who knows me, and this mount makes it sit a little bit lower than the traditional factory mount.
So, I need that one.
I can contact him and let him know to make one because he made this by hand.
Yeah.
So.
And it's held 0 too because I saw. Yeah, I need that.
That part too. So it's held.
And it was a good thing you told me that because I was about to buy that. But honestly, between, and again, I kind of want to try it out. An LPVO with a dot forward, but the only difference between this and that is weight and size difference. And I like this a hell of a lot more. And it's more versatile because you have the
Because again, that's a 6X, so this is 5. And so you basically just have a large version of this for no reason if you're not going to use the other magnifications.
I think honestly, if you go to the 6, it'd be like, all right, that's good. Like right. 5 is good enough.
Like if I can take this 5X out to 600, you can do it with a 6X.
Yeah. Like we was hitting out to 600, which I think as far as with our area and what we do, that's more than enough.
That like I said, the GPR was for 300. This basically just doubled it, and so this exceeded my expectations. Like even 500. If we go to 6, like shit, I'm happy.
And here's the funny thing about it, right? Because
I don't want to get talked on it too long.
No, because because other people are going to ask questions about this. Like, well, what's the point of a GPR as far as a recce? Here's the thing.
Well, they got to watch the other video. We did a whole video on that.
Yeah.
It's called "What's the Purpose of a GPR?" So if you want to find those answers out, because we're not going to waste all of those people's time. Check out that video.
Isn't it just a recce? No.
Like that video will explain.
Yeah.
Because
to a degree.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. So that's the optic. So you're definitely gonna want some magnification. If you're gonna have magnification, you're definitely gonna want some type of optic for close-in shooting. Right. All right, moving on. Triggers. Now we have 2 different triggers. All right, so my trigger is the Creme de la Creme, the Geisley SSAE, the Sassy.
That's sassy. Is that
right?
What you're trying to call it?
So it's like let me practice safe. We use protection around here.
Oh my God. You're both scary.
So
dirty.
I know.
Just the way we like it.
So I love this trigger because it's 2-stage. So it's like a 3-pound trigger. On the website it's like 3 point something. But it's like a 3-pound trigger. And so once you go to you take up the first stage, there's 2 pounds, if that. Then the nicest break ever. that SSAE is such a nice trigger.
I'm just laughing because I'm not even touching my rifle. It's perfectly balanced, like all things should be.
Okay, Thanos.
Alright, so my trigger, right? Alright, there's nothing in the magazine or anything. Right. So I'm running the SDC.
Wow! Oh my god!
Yeah. So I like it because it's basically it's 2-stage trigger, right? It's about 1.5 pounds for the take up, and then nice clean break.
What you said, SDC?
Yes, the super dynamic combat trigger.
Oh yeah, I used to have that. That's actually not a bad trigger.
Yeah, no. You had, I thought you had the 3-gun trigger.
No, I had the SDC in my old, like my first D.
What did you do with it? Oh my god, please don't tell me you sold it.
Yeah, I sold it like a dumbass.
I hate you so much.
I sold it like a dumbass. Vince sold it.
Vince told me to buy this trigger, and that was like the last. Yeah.
That SDC is a good trigger. See, I wanted to have that in the 11.5.
It's a dope trigger.
Yeah.
It's definitely a dope trigger. And the reason why I like the Geisley triggers.
I just had this SA. I already had the SSAE.
I have the SSAE as well, and that's in my precision gun. The reason why I like Geisley triggers over anything is because it's just the hammer and it's just the trigger bow itself. Like I like the cassette style triggers, but we run suppressed too much now, and I've seen them gum up. And I did buy the
like the CMCs.
I haven't tried the CMC ones out yet, but I just had too much of a bad experience with cassette ones where it's like I've seen how dirty Keith keeps his guns and all he has is Geisley's.
I'm one of those people. Yeah, I'm a dirty boy.
It's like there's no reason for me to kind of mess around, and it's like for how much they are, it's reliability that I care about. So yeah, Geisley is the way to go, all day, every day. Lower parts kit, what'd you go with? Just some standard crap?
Yeah, because again, we build a lot, so we have a lot of parts laying around, and so again, like I honestly.
We just recycle stuff.
That's not. If I pick through my parts bag, I can build out a complete floor. Like so. Bolt carriers. I'm using E2 Armory Gold, even though right now it's looking kind of black. But that's just the thing with suppress. If you're gonna shoot your gun suppressed, you're gonna need.
I just want to see how bad it is.
Yeah, make sure you lick it too.
No, I'm not gonna look at you weird. Oh god.
But yeah, if you're gonna shoot your gun suppressed, just know it's going to get dirty.
There you go.
And it's all over the table and chair now. But your gun's gonna get dirty a lot quicker than if it wasn't suppressed. So you're gonna need like a real durable bolt carrier. Now you don't need spend $300, $400, $500. But yeah, if you get like a BCM or the E2 Armory or like Sons of Liberty, for like $100 or something. Like I prefer nickel boron. The only reason I have gold, the only reason I have the gold is because E2 Armory sent me the gold one.
That's not nickel boron, that's titanium nitride.
No, that's what I'm saying. I prefer nickel boron, but they sent me this one.
That's so much better. Nickel boron sucks now.
Now? What do you mean now?
Because titanium nitride is better.
But I've run nickel boron in my SPR and it's been fine. I've run that for years.
You're the only one.
But anyway.
See? He's the Albert Fudge.
But anyway, nickel boron at the very least is recommended. Like you use that phosphate stuff. Like in my experience, when things get dirty and gummy, those tend to lock up a lot easier than if you get something that's either coated in something to be slicker. Like I don't know what he has, but his is blue.
Yeah. So
they don't have to be colorful. It just
kind of going off of what Thomas was saying, right? That's why it's funny. Phosphate's okay, but the new technology is basically these PVD coatings. Mine's just blue because I just wanted to have a blue one. I just
we like the finer things.
Yeah, we just like doing weird stuff. Like I got a rainbow one just because I felt like it. It just looks cool.
Well, they said we'll send you any one, so of course I went with the most
this one,
expensive
I believe I bought this off of Big Daddy Unlimited like 3 years ago. And then the rainbow one's from Aim Surplus. Yeah, the oil slick one.
You got rainbow stuff.
Yeah, it was like an oil slick one. It just looked kind of cool because it had like purple in it. It looked dope. But yeah, see, when you have these different coatings on it, right? You can just basically wipe the carbon off, and it's pretty much a clean bolt carrier grip. I actually need to oil this sucker.
That's another thing. When your gun gets dry, they will last.
It'll last so much longer. It'll last
a lot longer than like the phosphate coated stuff.
That's why, like Thomas said, like the BCM ones. because it is a phosphate coating, but they do something weird with it. I don't know the science behind what they do with the BCMs, but any of these BCGs that have a coating on it, so titanium nitride is definitely the way to go.
Right. And I also recommend like a full-size bolt carrier, none of these skeletonized or lightweight bolt carriers, because I used to have those. But the problem is when you need that gun to push through some dirt and mud and gunk, it's lightweight, so it doesn't have enough force going behind it to push through that stuff and to pick up that round and chamber it into the chamber.
That part.
And so this full-size bolt carrier with that full weight, you're gonna want that in a GPR. Because you gotta also not only take into consideration taking shots out the distance, but you may have to lay down a volume of fire. Because again, you might have to break contact. You might have to make entry on something. All right. Again, there's a whole bunch of things. It's a general purpose rifle, so it's supposed to be a rifle built for any and everything. So you gotta take that into consideration as well. What if I had to just
because it can do
exactly? I just had to run the crap out of this thing, you know.
Because it has the ability to.
Exactly, it's that type of situation where
doesn't mean that it has to technically do it, but it has the ability to.
You're gonna want that because again, this is the one gun you can take. You're gonna want that gun to be as reliable as possible. All right, now moving on, slings. Eric, Eric's over here putting his stuff back together. But slings are important because this maintains the weapon to your body. So this allows you, let's say if you're, working on somebody who got hit or working with your hands.
If you have a holster for your pistol, the sling is the holster for your rifle.
And you can retain the weapon to your body while you're working your hands. Also, like I said, it also keeps the weapon on your body, so if you fell or something knocked you to the ground, it still maintains the weapon to your body.
Snatch the weapon off of you.
You would hate that if the weapon fell from your grasp and you really needed it.
That part.
So a sling is important.
So what sling did you go?
Feral Concept Slingster.
You've been running that for years. Like you've been running it for years to the point where they changed their logo. That's their old one. You've been running that for a while. Never sell that sling, seriously. Never.
This
sell
one?
It. Yes. Do not sell it. They don't have that. They don't.
Yeah, the Pharaoh head no more.
Yeah, they ain't doing that no more.
So again, you don't have to nuke a sling. Just get a good manufactured
No
sling.
bungee sling. Don't do that.
All right.
A solid nylon 2-point sling, like a Blue Force Gear sling, a Vickers sling, an Edgar Sherman sling.
Right.
So I am running the centrifuge sling. The reason why I picked this one because I've had a Blue Force Gear sling. Which, Thomas, you need to actually talk about that too, real quick. Having a sling is one thing, and it's one of the reasons why you got the range bands back. But having an ability to actually stow the sling, which is why I like the centrifuge, because
again, with everything I do, I keep it simple.
Mine is already on the sling, good to go. He just uses a Ranger band because, again, Thomas is simple, but I just like having my stuff kind of all together. Yeah, I can throw a Ranger band somewhere on here. They do the same thing, which that's a redundancy. But, again, that's why I picked the centrifuge sling because it's already there. And then if I need it, just... And we're good to go.
All right. 2 each their own.
Yeah, we're just two different people.
And then, for stocks, I'm running the B5 soft mod stock. For when it comes to the GPR, I wanted something with a little bit of a cheek rest, but I didn't want too much. And I also wanted to maintain like it being lightweight and easily maneuverable. So the B5 soft mod was a good balance between the two, and at the same time, it does give me that nostalgic military feel. Get that GWAT feel. Eric has a stock. That was like the first, when I built my first rifle, I had that buttstock. And it wasn't, don't have that issue with it like that. I wouldn't mind putting that on my AR-10.
Really? You're gonna put the SR2? So I have a Magpul, I believe this is the STR stock. So kind of a philosophy I'm kind of trying to apply to most of my gun setups now is having battery storage and extra part storage. If it cannot go on my grip, it has to go in my stock and vice versa. So if I can't put it into my stock, it has to go into my grip. And the reason I got to kind of put it into my stock is because of this grip by German Arms Development. It's a CZ Shadow 2 grip.
Oh, I do like that grip.
Yeah, it's like he did a one-off run of them, and luckily because I kept like messaging him over and over like, hey, when are you gonna drop these things? I had the money already put aside. So I got the first production run of them, and he kind of drops them every so often. So yeah, if somebody wants them, you gotta just kind of like stalk his website. That's why I'm glad I got it, because you can get like lock grips and put them on here. That's actually what these are. So anybody that owns a CZ Shadow 2, if you got extra lock grips and you don't want them, hey, just send them here. But you can put them onto these AR grips. So I like it. The only reason why I have it on here is for flex.
All right. So did we miss anything important?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean,
right,
as far as the buffer, my buffer in spring is just a regular H2 buffer.
Yeah,
and
H2 as well.
And it's a spring coat blue spring.
I recommend H2. If you're gonna run suppress, go H2. And
tune your rifle to your suppressor when you get it.
That too.
Because that's the difference between
H2 for like a general. I mean, at least in my case, H2 has always worked for me.
Well, like you said, my
I've built several rifles suppressed, so like H2 just seems to be the ticket. But we're both running mid-lane gas systems, right?
Yeah, we have the same barrel.
Yeah, ballistic. Oh, we forgot about the barrel. Good thing
we're running 1395 ballistic advantage barrels.
Yep. Literally the exact same one. Eric sent me a link to it on sale.
I was looking on
it was like 60-something bucks. It was 88 in total with the shipping and everything. And so it was a ballistic advantage 13.9 barrel. He sent me a link.
That's the only reason why we did it.
Yeah.
The barrels were cheap. We wanted to try it out. We said, why not?
I knew I was going to do 13.9, but I was going to go with the Hansen.
We had upper receivers laying around.
Right, I was going to go with the Hansen profile, but seeing this at the same price, I was like, bro, I'm not going to get that much more accuracy because of the Hansen, so I went with this.
Don't get me wrong, the Hansens are dope.
They're nice, but it's like...
I just wanted to see what this... That's the main reason, because people keep asking, well, what was the point of doing it? I just wanted to see what it would do.
Right,
and so far, I'm happy because of the fact that it does everything my 12.5 does, just a little bit better.
Like, all these barrels is 1 MOA guaranteed. Like, if they're 1 MOA, 1 MOA. Like...
I want to put some 62 grain.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this cheap barrel, like I got for $60-something dollars.
It's another mini
but it's getting consistent hits out to 600. Like, why would I spend $200-300 on a barrel to do the same thing?
It's another mini recce.
So
that's all that it is.
No, because recce
requires.
We're not gonna talk about this. We're gonna do a video. We're gonna do a video on this. It might be right after this shit.
I'm dropping brownie points.
All right. So anyway, guys, this is our 13.9 video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. No, you do not have to build exactly what we did, because again, we had to take in our environment into consideration. All right, so you must get off your ass and go outside. I know it's scary, but you got to go outside. I know it's scary. And look at your environment and say, what is my? I guess like your top 3 levels, your top 3.
There's a reason why we call it M81 Duval camo.
I forgot what it is.
M904. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I drew a blank. But look at the 3 most things you're most likely to encounter. If it's like home invasions, civil unrest, like shit like that, what's the best way to suit that? Now worrying about the Russians coming over, that's very small. Like I understand the mindset, but that's very small. You're more likely to deal with someone trying to break into your house, or some type of civil arrest. Like we look at the George Floyd protests in Minneapolis. Like they lost their entire police force for a while, and they was having no real deal shootouts in the streets between buildings. And so that's what you're most likely going to encounter. And so having something like this will be able to suit you for those needs. And then if the Russians come, this is still doable.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I like this optic combination better.
ACOG at home, bro. I'm gonna do a video on this. This ACOG at home is legit
Once
setup.
I get mine, we can both do that video, bro.
Right.
That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm in. That's like I said. That's what I'm waiting for. I end up switching this because
it's gonna have to be it's gonna have to be 3 videos. Because one's gonna be just specifically on this model. Exactly. It's gonna be in that model, and then it's gonna have to be Locs, what's the okay? We're getting too far off topic. All right, we're gonna get better at this. All right, I'm sorry about it. We're gonna get better and try to stay on topic more. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. If you are looking for training, we are here in Jacksonville, Florida. The link is in the description box below if you want to get trained here at K&A. Also, if you want to help support LocsNLoad specifically, you can buy a t-shirt, you can join on Patreon, you can donate here on YouTube, I believe, and also you can just simply become a subscriber. That helps and is free.
Exactly.
On top of that, thank you for watching. Stay educated, stay dangerous. LocsNLoad out.